Life is messy, our minds are messy, success is blinking messy. Join me, Charlotte Hopkins, on the Gloriously Messy Me podcast, where I'm opening up hearts, minds, and souls to navigate life's unique messiness. Exploring identity, culture, belonging, and success, I, along with some phenomenal special guests, will be sharing my own experiences, as well as impactful theories and top tips on how I help people unleash their incredible potential to take courageous action and build a life that they love. Okay, let's get on to today's episode. Hey, hello, and welcome back. I am super excited with my guest today, as I have been like with every guest, in all fairness. I'm like a bottle of pop that has been massively shaken. But in particular, Rosie has a big place in my heart because she helped me really discover, and I'm going to be as bold as saying, my style. And I'm going to, before we kind of get into the session or the episode, ask Rosie just to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about what she does.
Hello. Well, it's lovely to be here.
Yay.
So I'm Rosie Parsons and I'm a brand photographer based in Exeter in Devon. And I specialise in bright and bold, colourful portraits of women in business, basically. And we have a really fun day where we have a nice spread, and it's all in my house as well. So I've got the cat wandering around, and we have hair and makeup artists. So it's all very like relaxed, and it's a bit of a pamper day, as well as getting amazing photos for your website and socials.
Yeah, I absolutely was dreading it, in all fairness. I had not only been on a bit of a journey, which people will be able to listen to prior to episodes to this. However, I'd never had a brand photography session, for one. And I don't know whether Ola Mills is a thing outside of Wales, but I once had an Ola Mills shot where I was like this, with my bills and my fake diamonds. So I was absolutely dreading, and I knew I needed to have brand photos. And I can honestly say there wasn't really anybody else that I was going to go to. You just kind of captured what you did, captured everything about who Charlotte Hopkins was.
Oh, that's really nice. Well, I try and my brand is all about sort of having fun, playfulness, bright colors, and I try and do that because that's who I am. And also, if you're authentic and put yourself out there, then you're going to attract people like that. And I want to have fun in my work, and I want to hang out with people I'd be friends with. So I'm very glad that attracted you to come in and hang out with me.
Yeah, totally. And I literally have clothes envy so many times that you post on socials. You've got this beautiful like yellow pleated skirt that just looks amazing on her. So you need to absolutely check out Rosie's profile and socials just purely to look at clothes and shoes and earrings, because you always got an amazing collection of earrings too. So when I was looking to work with you, I think it was really interesting because I'd gone through a period of like change within the company, and at the time I didn't know that I was launching Gloriously Messy Me. It wasn't even a factor, but I knew something was brewing. And I remember you saying to me, just a little video. I was like, really? Oh, okay, we can do a little video recording. And I was so nervous, which people find quite funny because I clearly like to talk. But when I look back at that, I almost can see the nervousness that was there. And I wondered, like, from my take, you work with a lot of people who are really successful in what they do. They probably usually grow in. I'm not sure whether that is the case, or they've grown and they've maybe outgrown their brands. So I'm wondering whether you find that quite a few of us are nervous.
Yeah, it's amazing, actually. I'd say 95% of people who come are nervous. And even those that say they aren't, once you get them in front of the camera, they do, even they like are a bit awkward and stiff. I'd say the only people that aren't are people that are actresses, and then they will kind of then go for it. But yeah, I'll say to people, you do TED Talks and you get on stage and talk to thousands of people, and they're still worried about having photos done. And I can't understand it, because to me it'd be the other way around. Like, I would hate to be in front of a huge audience. But they say something about sort of, that kind of intimate space of the camera just like watching you and it's just you and the camera, and it can feel quite vulnerable. And it
was the flaws. Like, for such a long time, I I have a healthy dose of ego, and that's never really gone. Like, I'm quite a confident person. I'm not quite a confident, I'm a confident person. But there was something about, one, the journey. Two, there was something that has stopped me for so long doing podcasts. I'm a known rambler. I say 1,000 words for 10. You know, I'm known for that. And I found myself thinking, well, you can't go on video because you've got a snaggly tooth, or you've got frown lines, or like my hair was copper when I came and had my photo shoot and it's blonde now. And I was like, oh, you can see the grays. And I was so totally unprepared for a photo shoot, to the point where I rocked up for a photo shoot with quite old clothes because I hadn't thought about what I was going to wear. And even though, Rosie, you were really good and organized and told me to think about what I can wear, that is like, I kind of embrace the disorganized part of my character. But I was so consumed by the frown line, the snaggly tooth, the gray hairs, the chunkiness. And I'm not even massively overweight, but I was worried that the roles would show. And I think I got so consumed in my own head that I overthought it.
Yeah. Well, we're not used to seeing photos of ourselves, and also being out of control, I think, as well. When we do selfies, we can hold it at a right angle, keep moving it until we're happy and we're in control. If no one else is going to see a photo if we don't like it. When someone else is taking it, you don't know what it's like. You don't know exactly what they've taken, and you don't know what they're going to do with it. So it's very nerve-wracking. I can understand that.
Yeah. And you had this brilliant ability to make me relaxed, which meant that I all of a sudden lost the shape of my eyes. And I remember looking back at some of the photos and just genuinely laughing because they were so authentically me, with my eyes closed laughing, with my snaggle tooth out. There was a couple where the double chin was in full like all of these like unflattering photos, like you say, that wouldn't come out. And it was such testament to your ability to make me relaxed, because
that's good.
Again, I'm sure there's lots of people who try and overly think the process. And the more I thought about the images, the less I could see that they just weren't going to be working.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's the whole kind of day is kind of geared around making people feel relaxed, and then also kind of becoming friends, so that you feel like you're being photographed by a friend. And then it really is like, I'll try and like have a chat with you so that you are having a laugh and it's genuine. Because if I just give you a pose and then tell you to smile at the camera, you're going to get stiff and look fake and stuff. So that's why it's really nice to kind of have the time with the hair and makeup artist. Not only have you not got to come all prepared and worried about that, but it gives that kind of hour and a half of just relaxing and chatting to me and having a bit of a laugh, having some music on, where you can kind of ease into being here and knowing me. And then also, doing the video where we do the little behind the scenes chat about what you're worried about and how you're feeling. It's quite good just to get used to, again, being on camera. And and I think, I try and show people the pose so they've got a rough idea of what we're going for. But then once you're in that position, I will try and talk to people so that you can forget about it, because it doesn't have to be exactly how I put you. It's actually, some of the best poses are when you completely forget that you are in a pose and you just stand there and you're chatting to someone, and your body naturally goes into how you're standing.
Yeah. And I was really surprised at how many of the images I liked. And, I make no bones. I was coming down with, I'm going to buy one. One, I need a headshot, and that's it. And we genuinely struggled to pick. I think I ended up with either 10 or 12. And when I look back at them, there's one in particular that I look back on, and I find it really funny that I've picked that one, because I'm really critical of it. And I can see that it's more than anything me in my natural state. I am a bit goofy, and I do look a bit, gloriously, I'm not sure whether it was a slip there. Messy. That is kind of who I am. And you could see that it was a really natural photo of me, but I haven't been able to bring myself to use that one yet.
Oh.
It's really interesting, because I don't know, I'm assuming you've seen, but the podcast image is one of your photos, and I use all of the other ones, but this one, which is the most natural, and I can see my whole authentic in it. Haven't used, because
I think this calls for you to put this in the show notes. It's like everyone's going to want to see which one you mean now.
Yeah, maybe. Interestingly, I've got red lipstick on, which I remember saying to you, I don't suit red lipstick. And then the makeup artist put red lipstick on. I was like, oh, I really do suit red lipstick.
Yeah.
It brought a different side out of me. And that was really nice. So the journey that I'd been on up until that point, and one of the conversations I've had is with my hairdresser, who has been like my hairdresser for 15, 14 years. And she will tell you herself that I drive her nuts, because I'll go in with a blonde pixie crop and then long flowing copper curls. She's like, you can't have both. And I was copper at the time, and there was something about the unleashing during that photo session of my personality. And we'd had Kimby had been rebranded, and the personality of me came out in that from Nikki, who did our branding. But I hadn't really owned it until I set foot in your photography space. And there was just something so lovely. And you talked about becoming friends, and there was something about that connection. And there was something about the relaxation and then the trust. And there was something that clicked in me. I remember the makeup artist saying, do you want, or you saying, do you want to take the makeup off before we see the photo? I was like, no, I'm going out. Of course I didn't go out because I was exhausted, which I'm sure lots of people are, like full intentions. And I traveled from Cardiff to Exeter as well, so I had to drive back. And it was a warm day, wasn't it? It was a boiling hot day. But there was something as I was traveling back that just clicked in me, that when you've released a part of my personality that had been lost.
Oh, good.
I don't think anybody would say I don't have energy. Something that very many people would say. But there was something about the photo shoot and working with you that gave that permission to be who I feel like I am.
Oh,
and
good.
That was a really lovely place to be.
Oh, I'm really pleased. That's lovely to hear. Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's like I'm doing
it. Sometimes I think we need to have we almost feel like we need permission to sort of be seen and make ourselves visible, and that we're good as we are. Like, we can be our full authentic selves, and that's acceptable, and not just acceptable but brilliant. And it's really nice to let our entire personality out, and that's what makes us special.
Yeah, it's like you've unleashed a beast. I'm just saying. The ego was there already. I could fill the screen now. And that moment of, what I was launching, I knew that, like I said, it wasn't something in particular that I knew at that point we were launching. I just knew it was something. And that's turned into a whole separate business. It's turned into a manifesto. It's turned into a podcast. It's about embracing that glorious mess, and that, life is messy and it gives us roller coasters. But there was just something there that when I saw those photos, that when I walked in, I never expected to pick the images that I did, which I, like I say, all bar one, and I'm growing to love that one, but I do love it. And I knew I needed to have it because it was authentically me, but I never, ever intended for it to have the emotional impact that it had. And then what that's triggered as well. And I remember saying to you, I'll be back when I'm blonde.
Yeah.
I'm blonde now, so it's been a long process, and it feels like I came home. And that's, the photo shoot was really an important part of that journey for me, and to kind of where I am now, and hopefully where I go as well.
So what would you say was you discovered about yourself? How did it change you?
I think the journey I'd been on up until that point had been hard going. And my very, very first guest in the series, I was talking to her, Shabs, about her. I went into that session feeling like I was a burden to people, and that I was this people pleaser that felt almost a bit manipulative. And that's like a very short clip of an hour session, so please don't think I'm manipulative, because I'm not. But that was kind of, at the time, that's where I felt. And I'd gone on this journey, and Kimby had grown. We kind of, I have a word of the year every year, like lots of people have, and mine was stability. And it had been stability for 3 years, or sustainability. It had been for 3 years. And I got to a point and went, yeah, I think we're sustainable now. We've seen growth. And I realized how much growth there had been, but not necessarily in me, because I wasn't taking any appreciation for that. And the journey of the people that kind of supported all of the unmessing the mess. By the time I got to you, I kind of felt like a sense of identity. So I think and I was saying before that I was looking for the 20-year-old me. So I was looking for that 20-year-old that's like full of passion, full of energy, full of attitude. And, you know, you hit your 40s and you're not that 20-year-old anymore. And actually, you got no time for that. Like, I didn't want that same sassiness that I had when I was 20. And there was something then in the photo shoot that not only made me go, yeah, that's not who you are. You need to just own who you are. So there was this sense of comfort in who I was. There was a sense of calmness in the fact that, yes, I had belly rolls, or yes, I had a snaggly tooth, or yes, I had, you know, we could point out multiple things as we could. I had my nails painted, for example. So things like that, I could point out all of those things, but actually it didn't matter. And there was that like understanding of that just because I'm a little bit disheveled doesn't mean that, one, other people see me in that same way.
Yeah.
And two, it doesn't mean that that's not who I am. So there was almost an acceptance. And that was a nice place to be.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, like to come as you are, and that you are enough. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
I'm really
totally
pleased.
And don't get me wrong, next time I come, I will have my nails done, and I will make my roots done, and I will definitely choose my clothes a bit differently. So there'll be things that are more thought out, but there was something, I think, that was a bit serendipitous about the fact that I turned up in a glorious messiness of like complete and utter discomfort. And
it's so funny because I didn't see you as that at all. You came and I'd seen your website. Your website looked amazing. You came, you were great. I didn't think that of you at all. So it's funny how we see ourselves, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's the bit. And what's interesting is that the photo shoot did, in a strange way, is allow me to see myself in what I viewed as a more vulnerable way. So I hate being vulnerable. Even now, I'm like, people will say, oh, recovering. I'm not recovering anything. I just own it a bit more now. But there was something about the seeing. There was something, yeah, just about, I could see, and I often see that people will see this really confident Charlotte, and generally I am about lots of things, but when it comes to image, and one of the episodes I've just recorded, which hasn't aired yet, is all about my discomfort with weight gain. And like, ever ongoing yo-yo fitness, yo-yo dieting. It's been like a bane of my life in many ways.
Yeah.
And there was something about being there that, you know, I remember sitting on a chair, and actually the chair is one of the photos that I haven't quite shared yet. My eyes are like properly smiling, so they're quite closed. I've got this red lipstick on, which of course I, you know, don't wear. And then I'm sat bent over slightly with a big beam on my face where you can see the tooth, and then you can see the roll. And I remember looking at it and thinking, oh, that is just so me. And that vulnerability there, and that vulnerability of going, nobody even cares. It was just like that realization that nobody even notices the tooth unless you say, oh, I've got a snaggly tooth, or nobody cares about that. And for so long, for so many years, I'd stopped putting myself forward because I was worried about these things that really didn't matter. So from a success point of view, yes, I've had tons of impact. Yes, I've had tons of influence. And in general sense, I'm a high achiever. There's lots and lots of things, but it was that personal acceptance that I'd never really allowed to be seen as successful. So yeah, I guess it kind of brings us to the question that I have for you is, like, with the work that you do and you personally, what do you see as a measure of success?
Yeah, so I think, well, hearing stories like yours is amazing. I think having people come and then seeing themselves in a new light, and seeing, you know, coming and then like, yeah, just being them, sort of putting themselves as the face of their brand, and then sort of seeing that all come together in the finished product of like this final image of like, oh, you're a strong, powerful woman. And just, yeah, I think seeing people kind of see themselves in a new light and really claiming that is a huge part of what I do. And so that I'd say that's success, you know, if people can see themselves as the rest of the world, you know, so, you know, their business is already successful, and then they bring up their image, their personal brand to reflect that, and sort of, and then become the face of their brand. That's success for me.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Like, I can say I help people develop training, for example, but that's not really what I do. I help them unleash their expertise. And it's the same thing, isn't it? You can say I'm a photographer, but actually there's so much more to what you do. And it's about empowerment. It's about, you know, creating, like you say, strong women who kind of own it.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah, and just knowing that's a small part of it is always a great thing to do. So tell me a little bit how people can work with you, or like if they're interested in finding out more about you, where and how.
Yes, well, so you can see like more of my work on my website, rosieparsonsphotography.com, but also the main place I hang out is LinkedIn. So come and find me, Rosie Parsons, on there, and add me as a connection, and then just send me a DM and we can set up a call and have a chat. So yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, fab. And I can't wait to come back. I am literally just going to go on holiday. I'm going to tan myself.
Yeah,
going to get everything done that I need to get done. Yeah, it's just such a fun day. And
you have to wear that shirt. That shirt's amazing.
It's a dress.
I love that. It's a dress. Oh, it's incredible.
Dress is even better. Yeah, it's yeah. I don't think, my husband's laughing because pretty much all of my wardrobe is either patterns or color. I don't think I have anything that's just blocked. Yeah, everything's got a frill or a fluff or a sleeve, or there's something there. Although I've had to buy more heels because they don't all fit nicely with it. That's not doing my feet very much good, but yeah, I do love a bit of color and a pink lip. But thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on. It's been such a delight working with you, and it was such a pivotal part of that unmessing the mess. And like I said, you've unleashed a beast.
Brilliant. I'm really glad.
Oh, but thank you. And I will pop all the details into the threads when we're uploading, and please check Rosie out. Thanks for listening. Bye.